Hey everybody, how you doing? Bruce here with Traveling with Bruce in the bullet train right now, heading from Tokyo to Hiroshima here in August 2025. The train travels 805 kilometers, or about 500 miles, in 3 hours and 55 minutes. And that includes a number of stops along the way. I think we had 7 stops, and I would guess that the top speed was likely more than 150 miles an hour, definitely over 250 kilometers an hour, smooth and relatively quiet and scenic, absolutely amazing. This train right now is accelerating. We're approaching Hiroshima. We still have a ways to go here, but the train right now just left one of its stops and is now accelerating up to the 150 mile an hour range. You've seen already some logos that seem familiar to you. A McDonald's sign just went by, but you can see here how the buildings just zoom by. The closer they are to you, the faster they seem to be moving. But this is quite the thing. If you're not used to it, it's really unique. A lot of the folks on this train from Japan were just reading books. I was looking out the window the whole time. Got to Hiroshima and spent 3 nights there. And my first image that I sent back home to my family was this one from my hotel room. I stayed at the Hilton here, the Hilton Hiroshima. And I took a few photos from the window, and I'm giving you the old Ken Burns zoom effect here. Beautiful geography, just a gorgeous place, and hills in the distance, the sea. You can see the sea in the background. A very sheltered harbor, and today is widely used by shipping companies and cruise lines and fishing. Apparently 85% of all oysters that are consumed in Japan come from this region here. The waters are incredibly rich with nutrients, and the oysters are quite good. Of course, the city is famous for something else, and that's why I'm here. The city is known around the world as the first city on the planet to, unfortunately, have been a victim of the atomic bomb. On August the 6th, 1945, the United States dropped the first ever atomic bomb on a city in wartime, and this place was badly damaged. 70% of what was Hiroshima at the time, 345,000 people, 70% of the structures were destroyed. Another 7% were badly damaged, and that left a very small percentage of buildings still standing. What you're looking at now has been completely built in the last 80 years. None of this was here even 40, 50 years ago. This area that I'm filming from my hotel room in a very crude way shows you how new this city really is. It is not a city filled with 200 and 300 and 400-year-old buildings. There are no temples here in the downtown area to see. This city was completely wiped out. I did notice a cruise ship coming in the second day I was there, and I saw the Norwegian Spirit working her way to dock for the day, and I did notice some Norwegian Spirit passengers come here to this spot, and this is where I wanted to come to see for myself. We call it the A-Dome. This was a building opened in 1915, known as the Hiroshima Prefectural Industrial Promotion Hall, and that picture was from 1933. This is the first glimpse I got of the dome. I walked from the Hilton Hiroshima Hotel towards this area here, and I spotted the dome through the trees along the pathway beside the river, and I took my first shot. And then I I started walking a little forward further, and I took a second video, excuse me, from a little more of an open area as I got closer to it. And as I approached this building, it really struck me, it really got to me that this is one of the last and only remnants of that fateful day 80 years ago, the dome. What's left of the building today versus what was once there is a fraction, maybe a third of what's left. I did notice that here, just a few hundred yards before the building, I came across a plaque with this photo showing what was the building known as the gas company, the Hiroshima Gas Company, natural gas distributor, and the three-story building was completely destroyed. 35 workers were in the building at the time. They died instantly, and the ceilings and the floors collapsed, and very little of that building survived. It was completely torn down and taken away, completely unstable to ever rebuild. But when I got to the dome itself, I got to the A-dome building here, I knew I was on hallowed ground, and it was a humbling experience. Now, I'm born in 1955, 10 years after the war ended, so I am not a child of the Second World War. My parents were alive during the Second World War. My mother was, I believe she was 12 years old, 11, 12 years old. My father was about 15, 16, something like that. And so they were just kids when the war officially ended. So they were not participants in the event. But I just felt a want and a desire to come here to just pay my respects to the victims. Now, there were a ton of tourists who come here. There weren't many when I was there, but there are over 350,000 tourists a year that come to this spot. They either come here because of a bus tour, or they arrive through a cruise ship like the Norwegian ship. And you can walk completely around this building and film it for yourself. There's just a small fence between the walk area that you're on and the actual building itself, a little bit of a lawn. There's the fence there, nothing serious. 99% of the people that come here are very respectful. Very, very small numbers of the people have a different attitude toward it, but generally speaking, people are very respectful. There's a picture of what the building looked like way back when and what we're looking at now, just to give you kind of a peek at what we're talking about here. Very little of it left. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is being preserved for all time. There is bracing, as you can see, metal bracing inside some of that building to hold it up. This is, after all, an 80-year-old remnant from that fateful day in 1945. And so the Japanese are doing what they can without being too intrusive to preserve the appearance of the structure. And for the most part, looks like the public is behaving itself around the structure. No one seems to be looting it, which is a nice thing to see. The number one group of tourists that apparently come here are Americans, and I found that to be rather interesting. I did see several elderly American tourists that were some gentlemen that were in the service. Absolutely saw them wearing baseball caps with their unit, on their caps. Some wearing some sort of T-shirt or a bit of a jacket. But there were definitely some 70 and 80-year-old Americans here. But again, it's unlikely any of them were alive during the Second World War or had served during the Second World War. These are likely survivors from Korea and Vietnam, and or they were in the service for years afterward. But it's a very humbling experience being here. Thankfully, directly around the structure, there is no commercialism. There are no people trying to hawk anything here. There are no beggars. There are no hucksters. None of that. which is great. I saw no police presence whatsoever, absolutely nothing. People were very respectful. I tried to get some of the shots here of the ruins. About a block away from the building, though, modern Hiroshima is alive and well, and you cannot blame the 1.5 million people that live in the metropolitan area of Hiroshima for doing what they do on a daily basis. Their kids go to school, people go to work, they get vacations, people have children, they get married, they die, they get born. I mean, life goes on, and it's been 80 years, but this one spot is absolutely sacred. I'm glad I came. I definitely wanted to see it and experience it. It's taken me almost 2.5 weeks to make this video just to really think about it, but it really is humbling to see this structure. After I saw it, I went for a walk back to my hotel, and I walked through one of the shopping districts right near the dome. This is known as the Hondori Shopping District, and again, everyone here was not alive during that day, and everything you see built, everything from the streets to the buildings, was all built in the last 50, 60, 70 years. And so this city is brand new. This city does not have 500-year-old history in the heart of it. Certainly the region has history around it, no question about that. But the city of Hiroshima, a beautiful place, a very pretty city. I would recommend you come here if you get the chance. I enjoyed my stay here. However, I was not here to party it up or anything like that. There are, of course, young people here, and there are nightclubs, and there are bars, and folks have a good time because, again, life moves on. But for me, it was more of a thing I had to do, a place I had to see in my lifetime, just to understand a little more clearly what mankind is capable of doing. And this is from 1945. Can you imagine the weaponry today as we see images from Ukraine and other areas of the world where man's violence is on full display? It's very unfortunate. In any event, I hope you didn't mind this video. I hope you're okay with my amateur footage, even this night footage here. Get a chance, come on down here and check out Hiroshima. 4 hours by bullet train from Tokyo, about an hour and 3/4 maybe from Osaka. And I took the bullet train from Tokyo down to here, and then from here to Osaka, and then back to Tokyo. I'll be doing a video on the bullet trains shortly. Thank you for joining me, everybody. Thank you for the thumbs ups, and thank you for your support of this YouTuber. I will see you again next time. Goodbye for now.